This is a boat show, a show where we visit New Zealand's boating community and hear the wonderful stories from on board their boats. From liveaboards to charters to boat stackers and to family boats, we meet them all. This is That Boat Show. Simon and Fleur journey to Helensville to catch up with a friend of trader boat and fishing and outdoors, and mate with an ongoing project that's of high interest to the boating community.
Oh wow, starting to look like a boat. G'day mate, how's it going?
Too bad.
Simon, how you doing?
Mike, nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too.
Hi
This is
Fleur,
Fleur.
nice to meet you.
Bit of work's going on, eh?
Well, it's a really traditional sort of shape, isn't it? Yeah. For a, it's like a small version of one of those sort of super sport fisher.
You've been focusing on keeping a nice raised shear line and a bit of flair.
Cool, so she's coming along well, you happy with the progress?
Yeah, very happy.
And you must be broken hearted it's going to somebody else though, are you?
I'd love to keep it myself.
Yeah, I reckon.
It's good building the first one to someone else, and then the one I build for myself is a lot faster.
Oh, he might be watching the show, you better not say that. No, it's looking fantastic. How's the progress going, like just in general?
We're probably a month or so away from a sea trial, I think.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, you
the
are
top
getting
sides will
close.
go on quite quickly.
Yes.
The hardest part was the structure and all the heavy stuff underneath it. It's probably a few hundred hours left, that's all.
Right. And it's just you working on it?
I've got a mate, his name's Sean.
Yeah.
He's been working on it with me from day one.
Right.
So
It's a big project.
it's nice to have 4 hands instead of 2, especially when we're lifting the big side plates on and the hull plates.
Yeah.
So what sort of motor are you going to put in it, inboard or outboard?
We've got a outboard configuration for this one, but we can change the design to suit inboard. This one's going to have a Honda 250 horse outboard engine.
Oh, where'd that go?
So that'll be bolted on here. We've got to finish off the structure and stuff around there, but we had a outboard rep come down and he said that the boat is well suited to a 250 horse. We were worried because of the weight and size it was going to be underpowered, but
He thought because of the shape of it.
250 will be ample.
That's it in the picture?
That's it in the picture, to scale, yep, with the exact engine that is going to go on this one.
Okay.
Did you do all these plans and drawings and that yourself?
I did the concept, and a good friend of mine who is a naval architect, he made everything work. So he did the structural analysis, buoyancy, stability, and water flow analysis and things like that.
Sounds like a good mate to have.
Very good, very handy.
Where did you meet him?
I met him in China. He was my bear buddy,
Oh, yeah.
and he was over in China doing yachts, and I was over in China doing jet boats.
Right. And you guys got chatting, and
Yep, exactly.
next minute you've got a naval architect on site.
Yeah, which is awesome. He actually came over last week.
Oh, cool.
And he spent a day sanding with us, which was really nice.
Well, it serves him right because he didn't. Some of the lines needed fairing that he'd drawn.
Yeah.
So what makes a boat like this strong, like out in the tough seas?
Lots of structure, a decent amount of weight, and yeah, you can jump on board and have a look at what we've got under the floor.
Oh wow, Simon, come have a look at this.
Oh my goodness! Look at the structure in here. Oh, so what are all these fins and stuff for?
They're folded flanges for the top of the girders. It's all 6mm structure under the floor. We've got stringers. We've got 10mm stringers above the chines there.
My God, stringers, chines, girders. What are you talking about? So the girders makes it like a beam, right?
Yep, it's what you'd use. You call it a structural beam.
Yeah. Okay. So it could be a bridge or a floor or anything, but in this case, it happens to be a boat. Yep. Okay, with you. So 6mm material for most of the.
For the girders, the stringers, and the 2 stringers either side.
Oh yeah, look at those. They're big machines. So that's where the boat changes from horizontal to vertical, the sides to the bottom. So what's this?
It's a bait board.
Baby changing table.
Yeah. It's where you cut up your fish, put your beers on there if you need to.
Beautiful. And you're having a live bait tank and stuff?
Yep, there's a live bait tank under the step-through transom here.
Right.
The live bait tank from here overflows out through here,
Oh, okay.
as does the deck. The deck is self-draining, and that overflows here.
Yep.
And here, the deck's 100mm above waterline with a 1-degree rake.
Aft. So even at rest, it drains?
At rest, it should drain, yep.
You'll find all the fish heads down there 3 weeks later?
Yeah, no. That's only a 50mm tube either side, and here, it's a slot.
To find the fish, you need electronics. So have you got any idea what he's going to put into this thing?
We haven't finalised the exact electronics that go into it, but in a boat like this, you've got your standard fish finder, chart plotter, sounder combo, stereo.
So how much range do you get in this boat? Like how far out in the ocean can you take it?
Well, we've looked at the fuel figures for that particular motor, and given that our fuel tank's quite large, it's 390 litres, we're looking at about 250 nautical miles of range.
Wow. Where are you going to put the fuel tanks?
The fuel tank is going to go down in this void here, under the floor, so it's basically from this frame all the way to that frame, and in between these two centre girders.
Oh gosh, okay. So you carry some fresh water as well?
No.
No fresh water tank?
Fresh water.
Where do you do pools?
Toilet is going to be an optional extra for this boat.
Right.
We're going to sea trial it without one, but obviously if it is going to be
In my
suited,
experience, you do need a toilet.
Yeah.
I've been all around this big old world.
if you've got a 200 nautical mile range, you kind of want to be able to do pools.
See how quickly it catches on?
Yeah, one thing I quite like about it is there's a lot of room to stand on the transom.
Yeah.
So you can stand here or here, and it's above waterline, so you can stand there. The outboard motor will be here.
Yes.
There's enough room when the outboard's trimmed down to hop between the two.
Oh, you can jump over the motor, yeah.
And we're potentially looking at even putting a rail around here so you can lean on it.
That's a
so
good
you
idea.
can actually fight a fish standing here
Yes.
as opposed to standing inside the boat.
Yeah.
Or you can have one person either corner and then have a couple of people fishing off the inside of the boat.
So will you be able to stay in this overnight? Like what kind of accommodation are you going to have?
Well, it's designed basically with overnighter in mind.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
So you can have a berth in there?
Yeah, there's a berth in there, 2 metres of bunk room. It doesn't look like it, but there's 2 metres of sleeping room.
What, across the boat or fore and aft?
Fore and aft,
Yeah,
like a V berth.
Yeah.
And underneath one of the squabs there will be a toilet. Underneath one of the king queen seats, we can put a stove, like a gas burner.
A little gas burner
Yeah, so you
stove.
can cook your meals and things like that.
So you can start frying up your marlin as soon as you catch
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
basically.
exactly.
A little bit at a time.
Small bites.
Fantastic. Are you going to have a bow rail on it?
Yeah, the bow rail is going to be made of aluminium.
Is it?
It'll be welded to the hull. It'll be one of the last things we make,
Yeah.
and it'll just come around.
It'll just copy the shape of the flare and everything. Aluminium strong enough to make it out of? Is it a certain sort of aluminium you have to build the boat out of?
No.
Are they different strengths and different grades?
You
Like
can get
stainless?
different grades, but we stick to marine grade.
Marine grade aluminium. And so for a structural, semi-structural thing like that, is it a thicker wall in the product?
Just go 3 mil wall for the bow rails will be fine. Yeah.
And you say the bottom of the boat is 6 millimetre thick, so
The hull's 6.
Right.
The chines are 6. The sides are 5.
the sides are 5 here.
No, those are 5. Yep.
Yep.
All the structure internal is 6 mil, and everything from the shear line up is between 3 and 4 mil.
Right. And you're going to have like outriggers on it for the...
Potentially. There's all the optional extras, and it all comes down to how big the wallet is.
Yeah, for sure.
But that's all stuff we can put on, no worries.
And she's going on a trailer, you were saying?
Yep.
Will you build that as well?
Yeah, we'll build the trailer as well.
Right. Aluminium?
No, we won't go aluminium. We don't have a press brake, and so it's just going to be another added cost to get the aluminium folded up.
Oh, I see.
And there's another shop just next door, which we'll build the trailer in. That's this dedicated steel shop.
Okay.
Oh, another cool feature, I think, is these planing strakes underneath here.
Whoop, woo! Come and have a look at these.
They were a last-minute addition. As I was looking at the boat one night after work,
Yeah,
thought, it needs them.
right.
Um,
Do they fulfill any function?
I think they're going to help with the spray. They're going to help with lift because the boat's heavy, so it'll be good for hole shot when you take off with the outboard. It'll generate lift, so it'll get you on the plane faster.
Hole shot is where the boat sinks in when
Hole
the reef-
shot is basically when you're sitting stationary and you go hammer down. Hole shot is the time between planing and not moving.
and sitting.
Yep.
Okay.
Because it's a heavy boat, it'll sit low in the water. Generally, hole shot is going to be an issue. Taking off. That's why some people think that 250 horsepower is not going to be enough.
Oh, because it burns a lot of fuel.
It just
to
doesn't
get out
have
of the hole.
doesn't have the torque or the
Potential,
power to
yeah.
lift it
Yeah.
and get it out of the water like that.
Yes.
So each one of those basically acts like another chine. And I think when you come off the back of a wave and you're airborne and you hit the water again, they will also help break the impact because it'll Instead of just burying itself on the keel and then stopping on the chine,
Yeah.
it won't stop on those, but they will help slow it down before the major impact of the chine.
Of the chine. Will it be noisy at rest, or is that why the...
I don't think so, purely being so heavy.
Right.
A lot of boats have that, a lot of aluminium boats have that horrible hollow aluminium sound, the slapping you can hear, and it just resonates throughout the whole thing.
Yes.
That's going to be a very hard thing to get away from.
So thanks, Mike, mate, for showing us around.
No worries, no worries.
Yeah, you have to let us know once it's all
Yep,
finished.
I'll give you guys a call when it's all looking a lot better than it
Looks
is now.
good.
Yeah.
Does the owner like the colour? Because colour looks amazing.
The colour looks good, yeah. I'm not sure what colour the owner's going to use, but
Marquita blue.
yeah.
Yeah. That's something, mate. Great to see you.
We'll have to leave Mike to finish the job, but we'll definitely need to catch up with him later to see the final result. Down in Stillwater in the north of Auckland, boat builder Wayne Olsen is hard at work on a piece of maritime history. The restoration of Ida. Ida competed in races on both sides of the Tasman, where she proved herself very hard to beat. Fast forward almost 90 years and Ida is bought by the chairman of the Classic Yacht Charitable Trust, John Street, for the cost of the lead in her bilges, and she's brought back to the home port of Auckland for repair. And here we are to chat with the man himself, Wayne Olsen, to see what he's doing to restore this old beauty.
So you've splined this boat. Oh, no, you didn't spline it.
No, most of them I do spline, but this one was splined in Sydney at some stage. So, it couldn't be recorked. So the logical thing was to glass it.
Yep.
But I mean, I would have glassed it anyway. Simple as that. So
Well, and what's the layer in between the two skins?
she's got two diagonals to carry, and then a fore and aft.
Oh, so she's three-skinned, this one. Oh, all right, okay. And what's between the layers?
Normally canvas and red lead or white lead, and there's various. What else?
So that's just a sealing layer. It's not an adhesive system or anything?
No.
And then riveted right through?
Yeah, then through copper fasten, yeah.
And built on frames, ribs left inside, or what's the story there?
Built on frames, but the frames have come out, so she's got a couple of fore and aft builds.
Right.
So sawn floors.
Yes.
Floors basically from the sole down.
Yeah.
And then
How often? Like how far?
they're about every 18 inches.
Right. And cowrie floors?
They're all Putakawa back then because they were grown.
Grown.
But the Putakawa, generally speaking, every boat we've done the Putakawa has been stuffed. It's been rotten. So we've replaced them onto this one. All were carry floors, sawn carry floors.
Sawn.
Yeah. And she's quite narrow through, so the floors aren't hugely wide on her.
Right.
She's like a racing sardine, this thing. It's pretty narrow gutted. We'll probably finish this. It'll be finished this week anyway.
Wow.
So we're putting two layers of 415 double bias on,
Right.
so that it gets the build up, and it's a lot easier to wet out than any heavier stuff.
Has it always just been the two of you doing these projects?
No. We had quite a team for years here, but I sort of wanted to get out of boat building a couple of years ago. And, sort of shut it all down, and look at me now.
Look at you now.
Up to my elbows in resin. It'd be great.
And you've never sailed on one that you've
No.
done?
No.
What about you, Mike? Yeah. What?
Mike's not interested in sailing.
You think you'll have her in the water by the end of the year?
Yeah, she'll be. Yep. Yeah, like I said, the biggest thing now is to get it glassed and painted,
Yeah.
and then lay the teak decks, finish the companionway, the hatches and everything, then and build the new rig. So I'm just waiting on the timber to turn up for the rig.
Will that be spruce?
Oregon, spar grade
Spar
Oregon.
grade Oregon?
Yeah.
And does somebody import that?
Yeah, but John Street's got a bunch of it. He bought off Chris McMullen years ago. So,
Right.
So that'll be turning up shortly.
Yep.
Letting Wayne get back to work, it's time to do a little snoop around the workshop. In particular, examining some of the amazing woodwork co-boat builder Mike is restoring.
Mike, so you're a cabinet maker by trade?
Yep.
And started your apprenticeship in cabinet making,
Yep.
obviously. When did you turn to boat building?
I think I did cabinet making for about 10 years, then I went to London
Yep.
for a couple of years. Then when I came back from there was a couple of boat building jobs.
Yeah.
I wanted to do boat building before I did cabinet making.
Just because of the challenge, or
I just always liked boats.
you always like boats?
Yeah.
Fishing
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
sailing?
Yep.
Yeah?
I like small, fast boats sailing,
Right.
but
Not so much.
these are a bit slow for me.
Not so much the 100-year-old
American
things.
scout boats are awesome.
So your skills here, obviously, hand dovetail work.
Yep, it's all hand. The whole lot's handmade.
Isn't that beautiful? God, it's a nice thing. And it's a copy of the original hatch. Are these the original?
Those are the original, off the original hatch that was on the boat, yeah.
Yeah. So you'd have to assume that they're around since 18, whatever it is.
Yeah,
Guess.
unless they've been changed prior.
Yeah, fair guess.
Yeah.
And butterfly hatches?
Yep.
Not your first?
Probably first made completely.
Yeah.
But I did yachting and Thelma's ones, repaired them.
Repaired them.
Stuff, yeah.
Is this going to have the traditional
Glass
in there?
Frosted with the name and stuff in that.
Beautiful?
Yeah.
You're a handy bloke to have around. And how are these, are they put together?
Those are cheated, they're dowelled.
Dowelled?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Traditionally, they would have had a dovetail. Not dovetail, a tongue.
Mortise and tenon.
Coming right through. Yeah.
And the hardware's new, obviously, on this one.
Yep, those are new because the hatch that came off the boat, someone had glued the whole thing together and there was no hinges or anything on it.
Right.
Yeah.
You find them, they drain okay, eh? When they're put together right?
Yep.
They don't leak, or
Well,
people
they
say
always leak.
they always leak, eh? There's nothing you can do.
Well, we're going to maybe put a seal on them.
Yeah, okay, a rubber seal.
They all
When will you start doing the decking?
as soon as the glassing's done, probably maybe a couple of weeks.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, mate. Well, if it's okay with you, we'll come back and check you out.
And look who just came through the door, Auckland sailor and businessman James Davin, and behind him John Street, the man who brought Ida over from Sydney for its restoration, which is funded by the Classic Yacht Charitable Trust.
John Street.
Yeah.
Simon Ventura.
Simon, pleased to meet you.
You too, matey.
Yeah.
This is not the first boat that you brought back to New Zealand and saved.
No, we bought Waitangi back was the first one, and we imported it from Melbourne, and then we bought Thelma back from Saint-Tropez.
So you bought this back and she was a bit wobbly when you brought her back?
Wobbly's the big word,
Yeah.
definitely. It was all the deck beams and decks were rotten.
Jeez.
Someone had put an amateur-built cabin top on it, which was rotten. So Wayne, I took over, and Max had passed away, and Wayne went over the hull and said, well, it's not distorted, and the hull's okay. There's a bit of rot on the inner skin.
Yes.
But he said, no, I think it's worth having. I said, all right, we'll buy it for scrap lead, which was what we did. And it was the Jagger family that had Thelma built, and they had this built too.
The Jaggers.
The Jagger family, yeah. And they had a chandlery shop at the bottom of Queen Street in the late 1800s, before our family business started. And I think they had a haberdashery or something like that, but they must have been a wealthy family.
Jaggers, yeah.
Because they had a lot of boats built.
Yeah.
But they only seemed to keep them for a year or two, and they never raced any of them.
Goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, amazing, isn't it?
And with that, season 1 is over. Hope to see you next time for some more New Zealand boating stories.